Despite some uncertainty, preparations for the inter-Korean family reunions proceed. A 14-person delegation will visit the Mount Kumgang facilities hosting the event. Korean researchers have made a breakthrough in the science of predicting earthquakes. And a new exhibition at the presidential office Cheongwadae offers a glimpse into the evolution of the traditional Korean costume, the hanbok. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Wednesday, September 16th. I'm Luke Clary. North Korea has implied that it may conduct a nuclear test in addition to test firing long-range rockets. Experts are concerned that Pyongyang's threats could undermine the fledgling inter-Korean dialogue and trust-building process.
North Korea spoke of the possibility of conducting a fourth nuclear test just one day after mentioning it could fire long-range rockets around the anniversary of the establishment of its Workers' Party. The head of North Korea's Atomic Energy Research Institute said in an interview with the state-run Korean Central News Agency that if the U.S. continues with its hostile policy toward the North, Pyongyang is ready to respond with nuclear weapons at any time. He added that all nuclear facilities in Yongbyon are operating normally and that North Korea is steadily raising the technical levels of various nuclear weapons. Prior to this interview, North Korea's chief space scientist said that a North Korean satellite would be sent to space at the time and place decided by the party, hinting at the possibility that Pyongyang may test its long-range rockets on the pretext of launching a satellite. Although the statement of the chief atomic energy scientist was tempered down in tone, as it was in the form of an interview with a state-affiliated news agency, it amounted to a public disclosure of the likelihood of strategic provocations using nuclear weapons and missiles. Experts believe that the interviews were part of the groundwork for upcoming major political events, such as the U.S.-China summit on September 25th, 70th anniversary of the founding of North Korea's Workers' Party on October 10th, the South Korea-U.S. summit, and family reunions. Seoul remains cautious and refrains from making any presumptions. But North Korea experts agree that if Pyongyang goes ahead with its threats, the implementation of the inter-Korean agreement reached on August 25th will be seriously undermined.
Despite the uncertainty, preparations in both the South and the North for separated family reunions are proceeding as scheduled. A delegation consisting of 14 people on Wednesday will check the facilities in Mount Kumgang, where the reunions are to take place.
A week after reaching an agreement on the upcoming separated family reunions, North and South Korea exchanged requests to confirm the survival status of reunion candidates. South Korea listed a total of 250 people, including 200 separated family members, along with 50 abductees and prisoners of war. North Korea had 200 people on its list. Of the 250 South Korean candidates, 182 people, or 73%, are over 80 years old. 103-year-old Ham Hee-ju is the eldest. Among the North Korean candidates, 193 people, or 96.5%, are over 80. Most of the family members from both sides are either spouses or parents and children.
90세 이상이 지난해보다도 한 10% 이상 증가된 그런 상태고 가족 관계도 직계하고 형제 자매들이 지난번보다 더 많이 들어가는 그런 상태입니다.
The two Koreas will confirm the survival statuses of those selected over the next 20 days before trading the results on October 5th. 3 days after this, they will narrow down the list to 100 people who will receive the opportunity for the family reunion. Despite the North's provocations, Seoul will on Wednesday dispatch a delegation of 14 officials to Mount Kumgang to check the facilities where the reunions will take place.
A month-long sale will take place nationwide around Chuseok. The government aims to encourage spending around the time of Korea's biggest traditional holiday by planning this nationwide sale for the retail industry. The huge marketing event will also let ordinary Koreans feel that the economy is actually rebounding.
Although Chuseok is only 10 days away, activities in this traditional market in Seoul still seem lackluster. Experts claim that the economy is recovering, but ordinary consumers can hardly feel the improvement. With local spending still in a slump, the government has decided to launch a nationwide sale in the weeks running up to and following the Chuseok holiday. Some 3,000 businesses in traditional markets, department stores, supermarket franchises, small neighborhood stores, and the internet are going to participate in the nationwide sale event, which will see retail prices slashed by up to 60%. 2 weeks prior to Chuseok will be designated as Chuseok Special Week, and 2 weeks after the holiday will be known as the Korean version of Black Friday. The all-out sale aims to promote spending all over the country for a month. More than $18 billion will be lent at low interest rates to small and medium businesses. The loans will allow the businesses to pay overdue wages and fees to contractors before the Chuseok holiday. Roughly $1.4 billion in work bonuses and child subsidies will be paid out to low-income households ahead of schedule before Chuseok. The prices of high-demand holiday items, such as Korean beef and yellow corvina, have been rising. So their supply will be increased by 1.4 times, and special transportation measures for those items, such as 24-hour customs clearance, will be put in place.
The government will establish a fund for creating jobs for young people in the wake of the recent labor reform agreement reached between labor, management, and government sectors.
President Park Geun-hye lauded the breakthrough agreement of the Tripartite Committee as being the first of its kind in 17 years since the 1998 Asian financial crisis. The president said that the agreement was especially meaningful because it was made to avert, not cope with a crisis.
새로운 일자리 창출 기반을 마련하기 위해 선제적으로 노동시장 개혁을 추진하기로 했다는데 큰 의미가 있습니다.
She vowed to set up a fund to create jobs for young people in a bid to share the burden of the labor market. Cheongwade said it hopes that leaders representing all levels of society, particularly those in high positions, will participate in the fund.
청년 고용을 위한 재원 마련에 저부터 단초 역할을 하고자 합니다.
Sources say President Park will be the first participant by donating a part of her monthly salary to the fund. She also pledged to not let employers use the agreement for their own advantage in firing workers. The president urged the National Assembly to quickly process 5 labor reform bills in light of the Tripartite Committee's agreement.
According to a new survey, many people use their smartphones even in the bathroom. But that habit also tends to lengthen the amount of time people sit on the commode, which can lead to health problems. Here's more.
The number of people taking their smartphones into bathrooms has spiked. Because they tend to get absorbed in their smartphones, people waiting in line at public bathrooms have to wait even longer.
확실히 스마트폰을 하다 보면은 좀 화장실 사용 시간도 길어지고.
A survey by the Korean Society of Coloproctology found that 49% of Koreans use their smartphones in bathrooms. That's almost 1 out of every 2 people. The survey also found that younger people are more prone to use their smartphones on the toilet. 77% of teens said they partake in the ritual, while the figure is only 32% for people in their 50s, more than double the difference. Looking at smartphones in the bathroom can lengthen the time spent on the toilet and cause or worsen constipation or hemorrhoids. In fact, people suffering from constipation stayed in the bathroom for an average of 8.4 minutes, about 3 minutes longer than those without constipation.
이 변기에 앉으면은 가운데가 비어 있지 않습니까? 아무래도 밑으로 압력을 받게 되죠. 압력을 받게 되면은 우리가 혈액 순환이 되질 않아 가지고요.
Moreover, 7 out of 10 people suffering from constipation reported that they feel they didn't clear their bowels. For the sake of your health and well-being, it's advised that smartphone use on the toilet be avoided. Also, when experiencing bouts of constipation, it's better to stop and try again when the urge returns.
Predicting earthquakes early and reliably remains a significant challenge for modern scientists. In some good news for this field, Korean researchers have made a breakthrough in the science of predicting earthquakes.
Back in April, more than 160 dolphins were found dead on the east coast of Japan. 10 days later, a 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck the sea off of Okinawa. Some scientists have speculated that the mass death of such animals and changes in groundwater levels could be signs of a pending earthquake. But such speculations have yet to be verified scientifically. However, Korean scientists have recently found a way to predict earthquakes with more accuracy. The researchers zeroed in on the density changes of the radioactive gas thoron, which is leaked through crevices from the ground during subtle movements inside the earth. The researchers measured the density of thoron in the Seongnu Cave of Ul진, North Gyeongsang Province, over the course of a year, starting in May 2010. They found that the gas density was 4 times higher than normal for 2 weeks, about a month ahead of the deadly earthquake that hit eastern Japan in March 2011. The researchers figured out the right place and methods to measure thoron more precisely. The researchers said the measurements of thoron density obtained in North Gyeongsang Province are meaningful, since the Korean peninsula moved about 3 centimeters when the earthquake struck eastern Japan. Scientists will likely be able to predict earthquakes in the future once they collect data on thoron levels in quake-prone areas.
The most representative pieces of the Korean traditional costume hanbok are the women's upper garment and skirt and the men's jacket and pants. The pieces have slightly evolved over the years, and here's an exhibition that offers a glimpse into the evolution of the hanbok.
The woman sports a jacket with short, narrow sleeves and a skirt with no slits. Hanbok, the traditional Korean garment, was simple and crude in 1945, just following Korea's independence from Japanese colonial rule. It was comfortable to work in at the time. But in the 1950s, hanbok began to go trendy with patterns and designs. In the 1960s, during the industrialization era, hanbok became the top item for fashionistas. In the 1970s to 80s, when Korea posted considerable economic growth, the hanbok also enjoyed a golden era. The garments turned increasingly elegant and exquisite with silver and gold leaves, colored printing, and embroidery. This was also when then Miss Korea Kim Sung-hee won an ethnic costume award at an international beauty pageant with her hanbok.
한복이 이제 화려해지면서 일상복으로서 멀어지게 됩니다. 일반인들이 입기에 좀 불편해지고 그렇기 때문에 이제 7, 80대 점점 한복이 일상복으로의 지위를 상실하고 이제 예복으로 전락을 하게 되는 거죠.
However, since the 1990s, hanbok sought new ways to transform into apparel that can be worn every day, while uniquely Korean and modern designs are drawing attention on the global stage.
The song My Type by the new boy band iKON has topped 8 domestic music charts. Also, in an unusual move for a debuting group, iKON will hold a concert next month. This and more in our Culture News Roundup.
The newly launched 7-member boy band iKON unveiled the song My Type and its music video before their album's full release. The song came out on midnight on Tuesday and immediately topped 8 music ranking charts, including those of Melon, Genie, and Mnet. iKON will also hold their debut concert at the Olympic Park Gymnastics Arena early next month. Next, the Korean action flick Assassination, set in the 1930s, made over $1.7 million since it opened in North American theaters on August 7th. It's now the 4th highest box office revenue for a Korean film after Roaring Currents, Ode to My Father, and The Host. And lastly, the National Changguk Company of Korea will stage the classical Jeokgyeokga, or the Red Cliff Song. Changguk combines the musical aspects of the pansori genre and the production methods of an opera. A stage shaped as a huge fan will be used to tell the story of the Battle of Red Cliffs.
With outside temperatures plummeting these days, many complain of pain in their joints. And in fact, arthritis has much to do with the weather. and symptoms can get worse if left untreated. Here's how to take care of your joints when it gets chilly. In autumn, when atmospheric pressure is relatively low, joint pain can become worse due to growing pressure in the articular capsules. This man in his late 50s was diagnosed with degenerative arthritis 3 months ago after overstraining himself at work. He can't even walk properly because of the excruciating pain in his knees, which has taken a toll on his day-to-day activities.
퇴행성 관절염은 노화에 따른 신체 변화의 결과이기 때문에 근본적으로 완치할 수 있는 방법은 없습니다.
If stiffness in the hands and feet lasts long, it might be a symptom of rheumatoid arthritis. This condition is believed to be caused by genetic factors and viral infections. In this patient, the disease began with pain in the fingers and later spread to the shoulders and even the large joints.
처음에 이 새끼손가락이 너무 많이 아팠어요. 아파가지고 막 진짜 심한 말로 이렇게 도려내는 것처럼 그렇게 심하게 아팠어요.
Experts say that exercising regularly is essential for arthritis patients in order to keep fit.
관절염은 그 주변 근육을 계속 강화시켜 나가야 돼요. 그래서 적당한 운동을 꾸준히 꼭 하셔야 됩니다.
However, arthritis patients should refrain from mountain climbing, climbing stairs, and aerobics to minimize pressure on the joints. Instead, they're recommended to try such less intensive exercises as walking on flat surfaces or aquarobics. Sit in a chair, stretch both legs, and cross them. Then, flex your legs and repeatedly fold and stretch them at 90 degrees. Perform this exercise 10 times and then switch legs. To alleviate pain in the shoulders, bend your back at 45 degrees, put your hands to your ears and raise your shoulders slowly. Repeat the exercise several times. Before arthritis strikes, simple exercises performed whenever you have free time can also help keep the pain at bay. Now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks for being with us. We're off tomorrow, so we'll see you again at the same time on Friday. Goodbye.